And I did a tape about 2 weeks ago on is there prejudice in Medellin or Colombia. Had a lot of attention. People love the topic a lot, so they wanted me to do a follow-up and talk to a Black Colombian to get their perspective on this. You know, I give my perspective as a tourist. You know, I don't live here. I haven't lived here for years, so I want to interview Marielle, correct? How you doing, Marielle?
Good, and you?
Thanks for doing this for me, okay? Now, Marielle is originally from Choco, it's called? Choco?
Choco.
That's a black community, about 4 hours from here, or longer?
It's 30 minutes by plane and like 8 hours by car.
8 hours car. I plan to go there in probably July and do some taping in Choco, okay? So she's lived there in Medellin for 8 years, right? So I want to talk to her, get her perspective on what it's like to be black in Colombia. Now the first thing I had was, you know, the U.S. has a history of, you know, slavery and Jim Crow and, you know, and lynching and so forth. And we've gone through phases of names. For instance, you know, you have the nigga, the Negro, colored, blacks, no, African American. I wanted to find out more from her of what they prefer to be called here in Colombia. You prefer to be called Afro Colombian, Black Colombian, Afro Latino. So what do you think, what do you prefer to be called as a Black Colombian?
Well, as a Black Colombian, I prefer to be called Afro-descendant because as we were born here, or I was born here, sometimes black people doesn't feel like they are part of the country. So some black people doesn't like to be called Afro Colombian. So
Prefer to be called Afro-descendant.
Afro-descendant, yeah.
Okay, all right. But that's the same feeling for everyone that they prefer to be called that. If I called you a Black Colombian, would you be offended or would you be fine?
I'd be fine.
But you just prefer to be the other one.
Afro-descendant.
Okay, see, I never heard that. First time, I learned something new every day. That's really cool. So now you guys know, Afro-descendant. Okay, great. What percentage of blacks is there in Medellin and Colombia in general? What percentage?
In Medellin there is the 10% and in Colombia in general also the 10%. We think that we are more in Colombia.
Interesting. She told me that, you know, we're talking earlier, she said that that's the official percentage, the 10%, but there's a feeling that it's about 20%, right, you're saying?
Yeah.
You know? And the feeling is because they want to keep the number lower?
Yeah. And now I remember that there is something that when they are going like the surveys for knowing...
Surveys?
Right,
yeah.
They don't, in the past, they don't used to ask, do you consider yourself as a black person or mestizo or indigenous? So a lot of black people maybe wasn't including those numbers.
In the census, it's called census, right?
Census,
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, so before they didn't have any race?
Question,
about race? Okay, so they didn't know how many black people were here?
No, so maybe they were, I don't know, they were going to a house and maybe they were light-skinned people. And if they don't see that they are black, they are not gonna put black on the...
okay. Oh, so the person who took it would check off. Okay, all right. So, or mixed people, let's say you mix between black and white, they consider themselves black here or just consider themselves mixed?
They
consider themselves black?
A lot of them consider themselves as white people.
If you mix it,
they don't consider them like mixed people. We call them mestizos.
Mestizos, okay.
But they don't consider themselves.
Oh, I thought mestizos, see I'm learning again, I thought mestizos is more the Indian mix, but to you it's black and white mixes, mestizos.
Okay, black and white are called mulattos.
Right, okay, mulattos. Okay. And mestizos is more the Indian mix.
Indians.
Indian with the blacks?
Indian and white people.
Indian and white, okay, all right. So the black and white are mulattoes.
Yeah.
Now, most of them consider themselves black or white here.
The black and white mix?
Yeah.
Maybe black or mulattoes.
Okay, all right, okay. So I'm curious if they include them in the 10% of the black folks or they kind of exclude them. You know, when they do the census, the 10% black here, do they include the mixed people as black in the census? I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe not?
Because now the question is there. Like,
Okay.
you consider yourself as a black person, indigenous, blah blah blah. And some mulattoes don't consider themselves as a black
So
person.
they might check off white or something.
White or mestizo,
Oh, mestizos,
something else,
okay.
but not black.
Ah, okay. All right. Interesting to know. All right, great. All right. This thing is real curious because I notice it a lot, and even today, as I go into the banks, you go into the Exoto supermarket, home center, Caruja, I think it's called, all these big stores. I don't see many blacks working there though. Not even inside stacking the shelves. I just don't see them. I know that I'm in a white neighborhood, or Poblado, Loretos is mostly white. But even when I go downtown to El Centro, which is black, I don't see blacks working in those stores. So, I was just curious if they even hire blacks, or they don't apply for the jobs, or what. I don't know, So it's something I just noticed. I'm sure you might not know the answer to that, but I notice it all the time, and I always wonder, where are the black folks, I just don't see that.
Yeah, me neither.
You neither?
Me neither.
Okay,
So-
I have to ask a politician about that. Okay, all right, that's an issue. All right. Same thing, when I was in Premium Plaza today, the big shopping center, and I was in Santa Fe Mall last week, I go around these malls, I don't see any black advertisement, pictures of models or the kids' pictures and so forth that advertise the things. I don't see any black folks in those pictures. I noticed it just today as I go around town. I don't see black folks at all in those kind of pictures or an advertisement. So I'm not sure what caused that, but I guess maybe they figure, maybe are there other smaller malls in black neighborhoods that might have them that I don't know about?
So there are some advertisements on the street, like the bus stop, that
Right.
they have black people.
Right.
And in this case, it's more related with black policies. For example, the city has a black, an Afro-descendant policy for black people. Is that right? To say a policy.
Okay.
And they have advertising for that policy. So they need
Okay.
black people for advertising.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, for advertising, right, for specific things. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But in the malls, maybe not, because maybe the
Yeah,
malls
maybe
have
the
more.
small malls.
The small malls, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, sounds good. All right. As far as politicians go, I think there are 100, I think note somewhere, 102 senators, right? And 166 congressmen in your government. And I wondered how many of those were really black in the countrywide.
Just two.
Wait a minute, you're saying you have 2 out of 268?
Yeah, just two.
Only 2?
Only two.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're elected?
They are elected and they have the right to occupy those positions because of law.
Because of the law.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute, maybe you understand what you're saying now. If there wasn't a law saying you have to have 2 of them, you might have none?
Maybe they wouldn't be those two there.
At all.
Yeah. Because even Indians people, they have 5.
And indigenous people.
Indigenous people,
They have
they
five.
have 5. And they are less than black people. In percentage,
Oh yeah,
they are
okay.
less than black people on the population of the country, and they have 5.
But blacks have 2.
Blacks have 2.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's interesting. It's because they were here first, indigenous people. I mean, they're probably 2, 4, 5% of the population.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe because they were
Here first, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, speaking about that, I told people before that it bothered me sometimes, based on the history of the United States, we had the same problem with Indians in the United States. Apache, different Seminole Indians, different Indian groups that were in the U.S. before white people came here. Same thing here, they were here first. Then, Spanish people came, white people came and killed them off and took the land and so forth. So now I see a lot of them on the streets, begging, feeding their kids in the street and all that. And that really bothered me sometimes to see that. So I always try to give them some money, But I didn't know they have 5 representation in Congress and Senate. That's pretty good. It's not bad, but it's still not a lot compared to almost 300. But having only 2 blacks, ooh, okay, all right. And I guess those are to represent like the black places like Choco, right?
Yeah, Choco or the Pacific Coast.
Coast, yeah,
you know?
yeah, but only 2. Okay, wow. Now you know, guys, that's amazing. Okay, all right. I wanted to find out also about middle class blacks here. And in the U.S., we have a middle class. You know, we still have. I was a banker, making good money in a bank. You know, you have a lot of black lawyers, black doctors. You see them everywhere. You know, it wasn't hard to find them, but I didn't see too many here. And again, maybe because I'm in, you know, an old white neighborhood. But even when I go to dentists downtown in El Centro, the dentists I see in the main medical buildings are also, you know, white. I didn't see too many black doctors or black dentists. So is there a percentage of middle-class blacks here?
I would say that if it is really low.
Really small.
Really small. I think most of black people who lives here is living in the poorest neighborhoods right now.
Wow.
So
okay.
we do have doctors, lawyers, engineers, but I don't know where they are here in Medellin.
But a small percentage. And one every now and then. This is why you don't see them, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
I don't even see them in advertisement at all. I just don't see them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so if you know any, just sort of get them out there and try to find them. But back to the politicians. Is there any black politicians in Medellin per se? Not in Colombia, but in Medellin. Or any black politicians, mayors, or whatever you might have in Medellin? Black politicians?
Right now, there is just one girl that is really mixed.
Oh, okay.
But she considers herself as a black woman in the council.
In the council?
Uh-huh.
Okay, because I wanted really to interview some black politicians here in Medellin, you know. So you have the one person out of all, okay.
This girl.
This one girl, okay. What's her name?
Daniela Maturana.
Daniela Maturana. She's in a consulate. Okay, all right, that's good to know. There's one. Might have to track her down, see if she wants to do an interview. Okay, all right. So in the U.S., there's a big group called the NAACP. And I wanted to know if there's a group like that in Medellin or in Colombia in general that represent the black people in this country. Is there a group like that here?
Here in Colombia, we have the PCN, that is Proceso de Comunidades Negras.
Okay.
And they are like around the whole country, but they are stronger in Bogota and here in Medellin. But it's something similar to the
NAACP. Try to improve the life of black people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have like meetings and people go to meetings?
Yeah, they have like Congress, an annual Congress,
Okay.
and things like that.
Okay, well, that's good to know. We didn't first learn that today. Okay, but you yourself is also in a local group, right? Because I went to a meeting probably about 2 months ago, and they're trying to form this group right here. A lot of American blacks are also involved with this group, trying to help out, you know, the Black Colombians. And what's that group called? I forgot the name of the group.
The name is Afro Unidos.
Afro Unidos. And it's pretty new?
Yeah, it started on December last year.
Okay, all right. And it's grown pretty big. And what do you guys do exactly in the group?
So the idea of the group is like to connect the diaspora
Okay.
around the world here in Medellin. So now there are a lot of Afro-Americans living here. We
Right.
have this guy from the UK, Black Colombians. So the idea is to connect all these people. And
From the UK, you mean Mike?
Mike.
My buddy Mike.
Mike.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, London Mike.
You call him London Mike. That's London Mike.
Yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, that's the idea, and we aim like to help our black business here, people that is doing things here. So we try to look for whatever we need into our black community before going out to look for services or
Oh, okay.
whatever we need.
So we help each other too. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's great. Okay. All right, and probably the last question, which is really, so I've been coming to Medellin for about, I think 4 years off and on as a tourist. And then I've lived here since last July. So I've been here 9 months or so. Taking a lot of taxis, a lot of Ubers, because it's so cheap, you know. And I must say, in that time, since I've lived here, especially the last 9 months, I probably saw one black taxi driver. I saw 0 Uber drivers, but one black taxi driver, and I saw probably 2 females, you know. And I'm trying to figure out, why is that? You know, why do you not see black taxi drivers or female taxi drivers? Because I know that most of the taxis are not owned by the drivers. They're owned by individuals who hire drivers to drive, you know. If you guys in the audience who travel here a lot notice more black taxi drivers than I have, let me know with some response. But I haven't seen any. I probably had 1, maybe 2, but I remember 1 specifically, you know, in like 9 months that picked me up, all right? And I'm trying to figure out why not. You probably don't know the answer to that, but it's something that's been bugging me a lot, and I don't know why I don't see any.
I have been here for 8 years, and I have seen like 4, you know,
Wow.
this 8 years. So.
8 years and 4 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know the answer to? Okay, that's one of the things you want to find out. $100,000 question, guys. How about getting picked up as a black person and picked up by a cab? I was in Bogota about 6 weeks ago and waiting for a cab, and I had a hard time. I think about it carefully that what make it was me or not. Hard time getting picked up by cabs. And I said, was it me or someone else, you know? Or I'm thinking about it too much. Is that a problem here, getting picked up if you're black?
In Bogota, yes. In Bogota, that happens
A lot.
with
Wow.
black men,
Black men.
especially. Yeah.
We got problems everywhere we go, okay. Just like in New York City, big problem in New York City. It could be Samuel L. Jackson that's worth, you know, probably $200 million, then he has a problem getting picked up by a cab. I don't know. That's a problem that I guess you have all over the world, you know. So it's not only in the United States, it's in Bogota. I've had a problem here once in Premium Plaza where a white lady, white Colombian, got me in a cab because they wouldn't pick me up. You know, I was waiting in Premium Plaza and I went into the cab and tell them to take me to the hotel, and they all said they didn't know where the hotel was, but I know the hotel was close by. I told them on my last videotape, and a white Colombian lady saw it. She grabbed my hand and she pulled me to the cab.
Wow.
And pushed me in the cab and started talking to the guy in Spanish. Blah, 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 blah. They take him home. And they took me there, you know.
Wow.
But it was pretty cool, pretty cool. That's fun. But you know, I know I get picked up. There's a lot of cabs here, a lot of cabs, so I have no problem getting picked up. And sometimes when you go in the cab and you start speaking and they know you're American, all of a sudden their face changed. Like, we got an American.
Yeah.
Maybe they figure they getting a big tip or what. I don't know what it is, but their attitude changed when they notice an American in the cab and you're black versus probably a regular black. You know? I don't know. You know, that's the thing in here. Have you had any problems yourself getting picked up by cab drivers late at night or whatever?
Yeah.
Or your friends? Have any
Yeah,
problem?
yeah. Like last Sunday, I was with 2 friends, another 2 black girls, and we were trying to pick up a taxi to go to Buenos Aires, what is a relative
Black neighborhood?
black neighborhood.
Right.
And the taxi drivers were asking us like, where are you going? And we were like, we are going to Buenos Aires. And they were like, oh no, I'm not going there. That happened with 2 taxi drivers.
Wow.
So we were like, what's going on with this?
How did you get home? The third one
Yeah.
took you? The third one took you? You said 2 happened. The third one took you? Or?
Yeah, the third one took us,
Took us?
to
Okay.
Buenos Aires. But
Yeah.
the first 2,
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, you know, thinking about it too, yeah, one day I was in Bogota, in a black neighborhood. No, it's actually more of a poor neighborhood. I was touring around taking pictures, and I was trying to get a cab to go back to the hotel. And about 3 or 4 cabs passed me, and they were empty. Wouldn't pick me up, you know, it was strange. You know, I was kind of thinking about it like, whoa. And then the 4th one or 5th one stopped. He put his window down about that much and kind of looked out and said, where are you going? Told him I'm going back to the hotel. And he thought I was a, you know, spoke English, and told me I have a hard time getting a cab, and he said, "You're in the wrong area. You shouldn't be here," you know, kind of thing. And he picked me up, and the cab had the screen like between the passenger and the driver, which means protection screen. And they took me back to the hotel, but he said, "You're in the wrong area. You shouldn't be here." Okay, all right. But anyway, let's just wrap this up by talking, find out more about Marielle. What exactly do you do?
Well, right now, I'm finishing my master's degree in government and public policies. I own my own business. That is, I sell women's shoes,
Custom
shoes.
Customized, okay. Personalized, what do you want?
Personal,
Colors or
yeah,
stuff like that?
That's what I do right now. I'm also a Spanish tutor.
Do you have a website for that?
For the shoes, I have an
Instagram? Oh, good.
Instagram page. It is called Almalujo.
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 A-L...
M-A-L-O-J-O.
Okay, Almalujo. I'll put the name in the video for you. Okay, Almalujo. And what else do you do? You're a student, you say?
Studying my master in government and public policies.
Impressive. So you want to be a politician?
Maybe.
You're going to put 3 instead of 2 black politicians?
I'm going to be the third one.
Be the third one? All right, look, watch out for her now. All right, the third one. Okay, that's good, that's good. That's your goal, to be a politician. We'll look out for you. And you know, I really want to appreciate you sitting with me and going through this. We learned a lot. These guys, you know, we really impressed. I learned a lot from you today. And maybe we could do some other tape in the future, but some other things in Colombia. I'm always looking for people to, you know, help me with tapes, you know. But thank you a lot, and I appreciate it, guys. I hope this was really helpful to you. I know it was helpful to me. I learned a lot today, okay? And I want to thank you, and say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Don't forget, guys, subscribe to my channel. Get a lot more stuff like this coming your way, all right? All right, bye.